Hey guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. So before I get into this video, I do want to say a quick thank you to all of my subscribers. We hit 50, I think yesterday, last night. I freaked out, it was great. I'm planning to do some sort of video, so look out for that. The next video after this will be an update video, if you're interested, to see exactly what's going on with this channel, like what my plans are for videos, what the schedules are, and what kind of content I'm going to be creating in the future. Nothing's really changing, but I'm just making a few minor tweaks to some things I do and things I talk about. But today we have a book video, if you couldn't tell by the title. This channel is all about me and things I'm interested in, books is being one of them. So I thought it'd be fun to do the newbie booktuber book tag. So here we go. If you're not sure what a book tag is, basically it's a bunch of questions kind of related to books. Sometimes it's not, but you answer it by using books, or you answer it in a way relating to something you've read. In this case it's more about me or the individual, because it's about the new booktuber. So yeah, it's gonna be like a video getting to know me a bit, and just, I don't know, I thought it'd be fun. And I want to delve into more book stuff on the channel, along with all the TV show, movies and video game stuff that I do. It's just something that I've always wanted to do and has kind of always been a thing, and reading is part of my life, and so is YouTube, so I'm putting them together. So let's just jump into the first question, I guess. So question number one, why did you start this channel? Now this is probably relating more to why did you start this booktube channel. However, my channel is related to many things, but the reasoning behind my channel and the reason I create videos and the reason I'm making this video is because I enjoy creating content and then seeing what people think. I love the idea of making a community, and there's a bunch of things that I'm really interested in that my friends maybe necessarily aren't into. So being able to put something out there, put my opinion out there, or just start a conversation, it's something I enjoy a lot. But reading and books are a passion of mine, along with films, TV shows and video games. So it's something that I want to talk about along with all the other stuff. Question number two, what are some fun and unique things you can bring to BookTube? Well, I'm blind, so that's pretty unique, right? How many blind booktubers are out there? Bet there's not many, or any. I'm the only one. Number one. But yeah, in all seriousness, I feel like that could be something interesting. My visual impairment does affect the way I read and how I consume books. I mean, look at the giant fucking thing I have to read. It's this huge CCTV, and just look at it. It's huge. It's massive. It's really, really big. As you can tell, it takes up a lot of space and can take up a lot of time. Also, staring at a screen really tires my eyes out, especially if I've been watching films, editing a video, or playing games or something. Going to then read a book as well, you know, it's added pressure and strain onto my eyes. However, it's something I do enjoy doing. It's a lot harder, but now I've got this new desk and this new layout, I can actually set that machine up a lot easier. Especially when I go to uni. I've got lots of space there. I'm going to do lots of more reading there, which I'm excited for. But the main way that I consume books is through audiobooks. It's listening to books. Now, some people might not class that as reading, because technically it's not, you're listening to a book. But it's all basically the same thing. I'm consuming the same story. I'm listening to the same words as if I was reading them. But out of those two options, obviously sitting down and reading a book can take a lot longer on my CCTV. So I'd always opt to choose the audiobook. Question number three, what are you most excited for about this channel? Again, this is probably relating more to the booktube side of things, but I'll answer both, because why not? The thing I'm most excited for is something I've already kind of mentioned, but it's building a community, it's talking to people. And I've already got a very small one, and I'm so grateful for that. And, you know, I see you guys, I love you guys. Riker, I'm talking about you if you're watching this video. Cheers, dude. But it's something that I really love. I love talking, if you couldn't tell, and talking to things and having a conversation with someone is probably one of my most favourite things to do. So the thing I'm most excited for is to build a bigger community and entertain more people and have a bigger conversation and get different opinions as well, other to my own, and see what other people think of something that I love and they might not love, or something that they love and that I thoroughly do not enjoy. Question number four, why do I love reading? It all stems back to when I was a child and what reading used to mean for me then, and it hasn't really changed to what it is now. Having a kind of a difficult childhood, especially when I become a teenager, struggling with my eyes and stuff, delving into a book with this character who was amazing or strong, or just being able to experience something different to my own life. Basically, the escapism of a book is unreal. I think video games, films and TV shows can give you that sense of escapism, and some of them do it really, really well. But for me, diving into a book and escaping into the world, especially if it's something like a fantasy or a sci-fi, I truly get lost in it, and I feel like I've become the character sometimes. There's just something about reading that I love and I just get lost in. Question number 5. What book or series got you into reading? Now technically it actually comes down to 2 series of books. Now this all depends on time and my age, to be honest. Because the first book I remember reading or being read to was a child when my mum used to read The Faraway Tree to me and my brother, but I wasn't interested. I never thought about picking up my own book or listening to an audiobook. I was just like, well, my mum read that book, that it was cool, and then a couple of years went by, and then I decided that I should try listening to some books. And just per chance, there's a company called Daisy. It's part of the RNIB. It's to do with blind people, basically. They send you samples and books that you might enjoy, just, you know, guessing around your age and young adult. I come across the Cherub series. Now this isn't the book I actually read. The first book I read was The Recruit. I just don't have the Recruit book. This is the only Cherub book I have. Well, I have some others, but they're all like the newer versions. I don't have the first series, if that makes sense. If you read Cherub, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, when I was around 11, 12, I stumbled across this series, and again, it's the whole escapism thing. I come across this character who I felt like was very similar to me. He was an awkward boy at a school, got kicked out. He had a lot more issues than I did, but I just liked that he becomes some sort of nobody and turns into this awesome Alex Rider kick-ass character. But he didn't start like that. James starts as a chubby 12-year-old boy who then ends up saving the world numerous times. And, you know, young 11, 12-year-old me loved this, and I binged through the Cherub series. I just ate them up. I don't really read the Cherub books anymore, but you know, they always hold a strong place in my heart, and I did really enjoy them. And Robert Muchamore did a great job at opening this door to me. But the series that truly hooked me into reading and wanting just to read more and more and find other books and explore what, you know, different genres are like was the Percy Jackson series by Rick Riordan. Now, if you do not know, I'm obsessed with these books and every book that's come after it. The Heroes of Olympus, Trials of Apollo, I love them all. I love Rick Riordan. I just love the way he builds characters, the way he builds worlds, his writing style, and I was obsessed with it. Young me was absolutely enthralled by these books. It's really heavy. There we go. Okay, cool. Oh no, that's not good. I grew up reading the Percy Jackson books. I went from the age of 12 to about 16 when I finished Heroes of Olympus. And I will stand by those books the rest of my life. I grew up reading them. The way I look at Percy Jackson is how I think a lot of people look at Harry Potter. Don't get me wrong, I love Harry Potter. Sadly, I haven't read the books. Don't kill me. I grew up watching Harry Potter films, but the Percy Jackson books, they're my Harry Potter. They're my childhood. When I think of the book that I love the most, it's Percy Jackson. When I think of the book I grew up with, it's Percy Jackson. When I think of my favourite character in all of, you know, fiction, it's Percy Jackson. And now I'm 20 years old and I'm still reading the books because you can enjoy them at any age, and I stand by that. Number 6, what question would you ask your favourite booktuber? Well, my favourite booktuber is Pollen Banana Books, Christine. So I would probably ask her about the whole J.K. Rowling controversy because she's a huge Harry Potter fan. I'm just kind of curious on what her thoughts on the whole thing are. Now, I've not read the books again, but I have watched the films a lot and I have followed the controversy. It's kind of hilarious and just ridiculous, but I'm very curious on what her opinion on the whole thing is, I guess. So yeah, next question. Question number 7. What challenges do you think starting a new book channel will be the hardest to overcome? For me, I think it will be reading a lot. This is something I want to do, and I want to try and get into reading more books so I can talk about more things on my channel. But I'm quite a slow reader, and when I finish a book, I like to digest it. I don't like to jump straight into another book. That's something I think I have to overcome because, you know, I'll finish a book and then want to wait 2 weeks just to think about that book. But I haven't got time to do that. If I want to talk about books and want to stay up to date with everything, you know, I need to get through them more. And so that's a kind of personal goal I'm setting because I want to read more things. There's so much out there and I'm such a slow reader. Not just slow reading, but once I've finished a book, you know, picking up another book, that's the hardest thing, I think, for me. Question number 8. When did you start reading? So I officially started reading around the ages of 12 to 13. I can't remember exactly, but that's when I was like fully into it, reading the Cherub books. I then stumbled across Percy Jackson and was like, this is one of the best fucking things in my entire life. So yeah, around there, 12 to 13, I think, and then onwards just continuously. Where do I read? Well, either I guess at my desk, or on my bed, on the train, on the bus, in a car, Walking sometimes too. In the gym once, but I couldn't focus properly, so I didn't do that. And yes, if you're wondering, audiobook, I wouldn't be in a gym on a treadmill holding a book. I was literally plugged in listening. Pretty much all of those were listening to a book, apart from the desk. The only way I can physically read a book is at a desk on this giant, huge thing. Have you seen this thing? Again, look at it, look how big it is. It's huge. I'm not going to be lugging that around on a bus, am I? So yeah. And finally, number 10, what kind of books do you like to read? Now, obviously, growing up, for me, it was all YA. I loved YA, and if you don't know what YA is, it's young adult. But then within YA, it's probably fantasy the most, like the Percy Jackson books, or currently the Cassandra Clare books. But I'm not hugely fussed. I'm quite open with genre. Something I want to get into reading-wise is sci-fi. I haven't really read much sci-fi, and there's a lot of sci-fi books out there that I definitely want to try. If you want to recommend some, leave some in the comments below. But I also like historical things. I read a book once on the Crusades. That was really cool. But also romance, contemporary books, you know, things about realistic struggles, and relatable books. I think biggest thing for me is if I can relate to some of the characters. Doesn't have to be always, but relatability is a huge thing for me, and characters having a vast range of emotions. But yeah, that was the Newbie Booktuber Book Tag book video. There's a lot of books in that title, isn't there? So that's all the questions done. You're supposed to tag people at the end of this, but you know, it's a newbie book. I don't think you tag people with this tag. I don't know. I might do more tags in the future. If you like it, leave a like. If you want to see more Booktube taggy things, tell me in the comments below. If you've got any book recommendations, also, you know, leave it in the comments below. Some recommendations from me. I just finished reading All the Bright Places. If you're into really sad romance books, definitely give that one a go. So that's it for this video, guys. Keep an eye out for the update video coming out probably this weekend, I'm hoping, or very soon. Don't hold it on me, I'm sorry. For now, guys, if you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, share it, whatever, and tell me what you think about reading. Maybe you don't like reading. If you don't like reading, tell me why in the comments. But until next time, bye.